Good morning, Coach. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing okay.
Thank you very much again for joining us this morning. Coach, before we get to any questions from the media, can you kind of give us your thoughts on the season so far? We haven't talked to you before after non-conference play, so dating back to your non-conference season and now your first games of conference play, what are your thoughts on your team right now?
Well, our non-conference schedule was really challenging, and we only played 3 home games and 2 neutral and 8 on the road. So I thought it helped us develop some toughness, and togetherness, and did some things to help the team, and maybe that's showing up now. But the teams we win against on the road, a lot of those teams are in first place and early. We battled Winthrop to a close loss, and we split with Florida Gulf Coast, who's leading Atlantic Sun right now, and we lost to Akron, who's leading the MAC, and so we played some tough teams. I think it helped us so far in Sun Belt play, and just kind of getting into Sun Belt play. It's such a long distance race. 18 league games, and I just told our team, I said, if we're comparing it to running around a track, we're just around turn number 1. So there's so much to go, and some teams have had more home games than others, so it's a little bit unbalanced. So we just got to continue to focus on getting better, which I think we got a lot of room to improve, and I'm excited to kind of see where it goes with our guys.
Coach, your team is young, and you are led by Ike Smith and Tukey Brown on the scoring front. What do those two bring to your team in every game?
Well, they're young and they're sophomores, but they started almost every game as a freshman, and they went through some ups and downs. And what I really like about those two is, and it sounds like everybody has this, but they love basketball, and they really want to improve, and they're eager learners, and they love to compete. So, they're easy to coach. Those guys are just making adjustments, and they want to be coached. And so Ike Smith had an unbelievable summer, just really motivated, and was his maturity went to another level. And Tukey Brown, the biggest thing I'm seeing with him is not even in stats, just the fact that he's taken ownership of the team, and his leadership has been much better. So he's really grown, even though you might not see it sometimes in the stats.
Coach, thank you. We'll go to our first questions from Josh Parrott with the Basketball Times.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Josh.
You already talked a little bit about. You already shared some thoughts on Ike and Tukey. I was wondering, can you go a little bit in depth on kind of the recruiting process of getting both of those guys, and just kind of what how big of an impact they've made on the run you guys have made so far this year?
Well, it's completely opposite recruiting. Those two. Ike Smith was lightly recruited, and he had only a couple Division I offers, and I saw him in AAU, and I didn't like him. And then I went back and I saw him play in a high school game, and I didn't think he played hard, and I thought he didn't even try. And I was convinced to go back and watch him one other time, and thank goodness I did, because I found out the second time I watched him that he had turf toe, and that's the reason he wasn't going very hard. And when I saw him the third time down in a high school game, he was unbelievable, and I thought he was absolutely perfect. But he was lightly recruited, and Tukey Brown was heavily recruited since he was in 9th grade. Not by us, but by a lot of different high major schools, and actually committed to Mississippi State. And when there was a coaching change there, he looked at a lot of different places. But I think the biggest thing with us and the situation with us is he wanted the ball right away, and he wanted a certain style. And, there were 2 things that we were able to give him that fit his needs on what he wanted to do.
Okay. And as far as them, they came in at the same time. Usually there's kind of a closeness and a bond whenever you have 2 guys come in the same class. You 2 guys kind of both playing in the backcourt together. How much growth have you really seen from them? And I mean, as a coach, to have those guys, God willing, for a couple more years staying healthy and everything, you guys are having a great season so far. And these guys are only sophomores. That has to make you feel pretty good as a coach, knowing they're going to be around for a while.
Well, they're great to coach, and they both came in similar personalities, extremely quiet. And, they were they lived together along with Monte Glenn, and also in that class, and the other guys lived off campus, so they came extremely tight. Those three guys, and you know, both of them are unselfish and happy for other guys' success. And what I really like about it, if you see, you know, Tukey Brown make a play, you know, you see Ike Smith cheering in the background harder than when he made a play, as is the other guys on our team. So their unselfishness and willing to make a play for their teammate has also been, you know, a reason we've had some success so far.
Coach, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Hope we can catch up again later on.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
Thank you very much, Josh. Coach Byington, before we let you go, you have two big games coming up, one against a rival and another against the second-place team in the standings this weekend in Hanner Fieldhouse. Can you just look ahead to those two games?
Well, you know, we're digging into App State right now, and, you know, they run a great system, obviously, you know, with Coach Fox being a disciple of Bob McKillop, familiar with that from my SoCon days, and Shabazz, I think, you know, one of the top players in the league for sure, and he's brought in a lot of good young talent. You know, I think they're more talented than they were in the last couple of years. So, you know, just trying to figure out, you know, how we're going to stop them, I think is the biggest thing, because I think they have a lot of different guys who can score. And then, honestly, Coastal Carolina, the only time I've seen them was when they went against App State. So, and I haven't studied them as much. And I know they played a really hard non-conference schedule and got off to a tough start, but they've turned it around in Sun Belt play. So don't know them as well, but I know Coach Ellis, and, you know, and all the wins he's piled up. So obviously he knows what he's doing.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.